What is your favorite or most memorable moment at Prairie View?
There have been too many. I don't know that I have a most memorable. That question. One of the most fun was a man who volunteered, and he was in the reading program that I talked about a little bit earlier. And he wasn't gonna come back the next year. He just wasn't gonna do it. And I said, yeah, I'm gonna get you to do it. He was a real fun guy. And the kids liked him. And a little girl had him. And she says, well, I want him back. And I says, well, we want him back too, because he does a lot. So the reading teacher had her write a letter to him and say you had to come back the next year because she was gonna miss him so much if he didn't come back. What do you suppose he did? He told me 6 or 7 times that he wasn't gonna be here. He told the reading teacher 6 or 7 times that he wouldn't be here. He's not gonna come back. But that letter, what do you suppose it did? Did he come back or did he stay home and not come again?
You think he came back?
Yes.
He came back and he stayed for the full year and taught that one girl again all year long. And she was very happy about it. And I think she's probably today a better reader because he did it.
How many years have you been at Prairie View?
Years. Ever since the building was built, and that means 41 years. And before that, I was in the school across the road and in the school up on the hill. Prairie Heights and Prairie Crest. Prairie Ridge wasn't here. The junior high wasn't here. We're just, oh boy, 3 buildings, 4 buildings. Wait a minute, let me think. The building across the road is the first one. That's the oldest one. And that one was here when I was in 8th grade. And I went to 8th grade in it. And then the next building that was built was that one up there. This one is one of the newer ones. Prairie View is a new building. And there was a controversy, a big argument about how it should be built.
How did you get started at Prairie View?
As a volunteer, I got started because I was told I had to. There was a program here that needed about 60 volunteers. Not all day, just part-time. It was a reading program, and they asked me to call people in the community to come in and volunteer. And at the time, mothers didn't work. They were mostly farm women, and a lot of them were my relatives. So they figured I could call them, and my husband volunteered me and said I could do it, to come over and get these women to volunteer. And I will say that they were all women. You couldn't get a man at the time because they were all out in the fields, working in the fields. But it was a reading program for slow readers. And I never graduated. I never got out of the building. I just stayed here and went to various things. When the computers came, I went to the computers because they were sitting by themselves. Nobody was learning how to do them.
You ever had a field trip to your home?
Yes, right here with the ELL students. Mrs. Levi brought, can't remember what grade that was.
First grade.
But, was it first grade?
Mhm.
I guess it was. 2 years in a row to my gardens. So that was considered a field trip. And it was for the ELL students, and probably about as many as there are in here right now. So that was the field trip. They came to my home and walked up my 4 paths that I have in my garden and walked around the top of it and looked at my flowers that were blooming at the time. Not all flowers bloom at the same time, so they didn't get to see all of them, but they got to see the ones that were blooming at the time and look at the leaves of the others. And the trees, because I have trees and bushes and little plants and big plants and all kinds of things up there, because it's a big, big area.